so very good at it, Kirkland agreed. But I'm not about to fall off the perch any time soon. He began toying with his quill pen. It isn't like you to fidget, Cassie said. Have you found a more than usually perilous mission for me? His mouth quirked humorlessly. Sending agents into France is always dangerous. My qualms increase when the mission is more personal than of vital interest to Britain. Your friend Wyndham, she said immediately. Bury your qualms. As heir to the Earl of Costain, he'd be worth a few risks even if he weren't your friend. I should have known you'd guess. He set the quill neatly in its stand. How many times have you followed possible leads about Wyndham? 2 or 3 with a singular lack of success. And Cassie wasn't the only agent to look for proof that the long-vanished Wyndham was either alive or dead. Kirkland would never give up until there was evidence of one or the other. I haven't wanted to admit it, but I fear that he was killed when the Peace of Amiens ended and all Englishmen were interned so they couldn't return to England. Kirkland sighed. Wyndham wouldn't have gone tamely. He might well have been killed resisting arrest. He hasn't been heard from since May 1803, when the war resumed. Since he isn't in Verdun with the rest of the detainees, and no other trace of him has turned up, that's the most likely explanation, Cassie agreed. But this is the first time I've heard you admit the possibility. Wyndham was always so full of life, Kirkland said musingly. It didn't seem possible that he could be killed senselessly. I know better, of course, but it felt as if saying the words out loud would make them true. It was a surprising admission coming from Kirkland, whose brain was legendarily sharp and objective. Tell me about Wyndham, she said. Not his rank and wealth, but what he was like as a person. Kirkland's expression eased. He was a golden-haired charmer who could beguile the scales off a snake. Mischievous, but no malice in him. Lord Costain sent him to the Westerfield Academy in the hope that Lady Agnes would be able to handle Wyndham without succumbing to his charm. Did it work? Cassie asked. She had met the formidable headmistress and thought she could handle anyone. Reasonably well. Lady Agnes was fond of him. Everyone was. But she wouldn't let him get away with outrageous behaviour. You must have a new lead, or you wouldn't be talking to me now. Kirkland began fidgeting with his quill again. Remember the French spy we uncovered when investigating the plot against the royal family? Paul Clement. Cassie knew the man slightly because of her ties to the French émigré community. Has he provided information about Wyndham? Clement had heard rumours that just as the truce ended, a young English nobleman ran afoul of a government official named Claude Durand, Kirkland replied. I know the name, but little more. Have you heard of him? Cassie nodded. He's from a minor branch of a French noble family. When the revolution came, he turned radical and denounced his cousin, the Count, and watched while the man was guillotined. As a reward, Durand acquired the family castle and a good bit of the wealth. Now he's a high official in the Ministry of Police. He has a reputation for brutality and unswerving loyalty to Bonaparte, so he'd be a dangerous man to cross. Wyndham might not have survived angering a man like that. But Clement had heard that Durand locked up the English lord in his own private dungeon. If that was Wyndham, there's a chance he might be alive. Cassie didn't need to point out that it was a slim chance. You wish me to investigate Clement's information? Yes, but don't take any risks. Kirkland regarded her sternly. I worry about you. You don't fear death enough. She shrugged. I don't seek it. Animal instincts keep me from doing anything foolish. It shouldn't be hard to locate Durand's castle and learn from the locals if he has a blonde English prisoner. Kirkland nodded. Dungeons aren't designed for long-term survival, but with luck, you'll be able to learn if Wyndham is, or was, imprisoned there. Did he have the strength to survive years of captivity? She asked. Not just physical strength, but mental. Dungeons can drive men mad, especially if they're kept in solitary confinement.